understand. One of the reasons why I stopped working with women is I couldn't have a conversation like you and I are having now. I couldn't coach like this. If they wouldn't get it until I would say something like, "This is the shit that I'm talking about." You know, why are you doing this? What? Like, but unless I took it to another step, and women like to say, "No, you can't talk to me like that." Lies. I've been doing this for almost 20 years, and I know who my client is. There's a woman that is the hard woman. She is trying to tap into her femininity. She's a woman that she is trying to be broken from her old ways of doing things. She doesn't know how. So I can't come in at her with, "Oh my God." She's not going to hear me. It's like, listen, this is what it's going to be. Either you're going to do the work, or why did you hire me anyway? Well, Miss April, no, don't Miss April in. You didn't hire me to be your friend, to coach you through this. So this is the assignment, and I want to see, make sure you get it done. Then it's, so tell me about the last 5 women that you dated, because I'm seeing a pattern here. They open up like a rose, because I don't have to be masculine with them like I have to be with the women. And the reason why these men who talk to women any kind of way and about them on these podcasts, women are accustomed to that, and their nervous system is wired for trauma. And then you see women doing counter videos to this instead of just saying, "Oh, this doesn't apply to me. Let me move on." They're not going to do it because they're triggered. So it's very difficult to work with women when they are so used to losing. They don't know when you put them in a position to win, and they don't realize, I'm not trying to diminish you. I'm trying to rip off the Band-Aid, put some Neosporin on it, and then bandage you back up. No, that doesn't work. So when I coach men, it's drastically different. And men, they're like, okay,
Marsh
like,
Marsh, what's up?
number one, this woman, you're gonna have to leave her alone because you don't like her like that in the first place. She is reminiscent of your childhood and how your mother
Good
talked.
morning.
Now, if I said to a woman like that, it's like, what do you mean? I didn't choose that, girl. Listen, we can't. I can't do
Good.
this because what it was doing was it was putting more stress on my body, coaching women at that level, and because I had to be very dogmatic all the time with the fellas. Oh, you've been successful in business. You put all your energy here, but you never develop relationship capital. That's normal.
I ain't
The
doing nothing.
vulnerability that women want to see in men, and it's easy
Um,
for me to get out of them just like
just woke up.
like the posture and the head to everything that you notice. It does that, and those are the things that women say. I shouldn't have to do that. Why can't he just? I don't make the rules. I didn't say it was right. I never say it's right. It's just what it is.
Oh, yes. Alright, guys, we'll be right back with Dr. April. But for 1 second, if you're struggling to build your confidence, if you're struggling to set boundaries and stand up for yourself, whether that's in your relationship or work with your family, and you don't feel like you have a voice, then smash the subscribe button down there so you can get notified every single time an episode comes out. Because we are here to learn the tools and tactics together so we can build our confidence and make sure that we always stand in our power. So smash the subscribe button. Now, back to the episode. So I've heard you talk about in your past, you even referred to yourself as you used to be a man eater.
Oh, yes. I was going to get them before they got me, and I viewed men differently. And one situation, I was at this club, and my girlfriends and I, we were there, and I would do stuff like, just because I could, it was like, let me turn it on. It was one of those things where Marilyn Monroe, she had something in a book where she said she was out and she asked someone, you want to see me do it? And they were like, what do you mean, want to see me become Marilyn? No one saw her in her regular clothes. They didn't think she was Marilyn. But even in her regular clothes, she's ever turned it on and all of a sudden everybody sees her as Marilyn, even though she's dressed down. That's what I used to do. I would go into a place and I would look around like, let's play. And I was Spider-Man. And I knew that I could lure them to do whatever it was that I wanted because I understood them so well. And
Mm.
there was one guy, he's dancing with a girl, so her back's to me, he's here, and I'm standing against the wall, and he looks at me, and our eyes locked. I said, got him. I knew what it was at that moment. I go to the ladies' room, and I knew he was going to be standing outside of the ladies' room. When I come out, I said, I knew he'd be standing here. He said, how did you know? I said, because I saw you see me. So I knew he was going to be standing here. And he says, well, I would love to get your number. I said, what about the lady that you were there? And he says, well, it's just a date. It's just a, I said, you're too easy. And I was like, because I knew I could. So that's a different type of power if you don't properly. And during that time, I was probably in my early 20s, and I was a man eater. Although, funny thing is, I still desire love, and I'm still sensitive, and I'm still that girl, but I had to put up this wall because all I knew was abuse. So I like men, but I'm going to get them before they get me because they're going to try to get me. I had to really learn how not to be that woman.
So completely understand how you got there.
Yeah.
Completely, like it's a power play.
It was a power play.
My entire
Yes.
life, my power has been stripped from me. No more. And that like no more feels damn empowering.
Yes.
And so you going into that club, well I'm sure now you're like that poor woman and
Yeah.
ouch.
Yeah.
It wasn't probably your best moment.
No.
But being able to own it, I think is amazing. So thank you for sharing that story. B, not judging yourself for it and going, that's just where I was. And then C, recognizing it for what it was and going, oh, this can be used for evil.
Yes.
And so knowing that you have that power and that doesn't feel good and then making the change. Ooh, all right, girl, you exude confidence. I've heard you talk and there's a story you share.
Okay.
It's such a good story. Oh my God, you got such big balls, if I can be crude to say that. So you talk about women don't actually just say what they want. And there's a story where you're about to go on stage and you see about 5 or 10 other women getting on stage and they're struggling going up the steps. They've got the heels on.
Oh.
Please finish that story.
Lisa, listen. I think what you saw, I was getting an award, and I was going up some steps. I was getting ready to go up some steps, and I watched every woman before me just go up the steps, and there were no rails. I'm like, no, I will not. There are men in this film.
And you
I'm like,
like,
yes,
yes.
yes. And I'm like, can you help me up the steps? And the guys, they got up, and they helped me up the steps. When I was coming down, a lady was there to help me down. I said, dude, can you help me down? Because I believe that women want men to do things, but they take that power away. Women say chivalry is dead, but they walk so fast that they're opening their own doors. You know, they are not allowing a man to help them, but then they say, oh, these men are weak. They're confused. They're not weak, they're confused. Do I help you? Don't I help you? But women don't understand. Women have made men feel like it's wrong for them to do those things, or he's thirsty. He's doing too much. And so men just like, well, I won't do anything. And then it becomes, why aren't you stepping to me as a man? Make up your mind, girl, because they're confused. And I believe men like to do those things, but I also believe that women have a why they do those.
Ford Mustang, what's up? Good morning.
Time to really acknowledge the difference between your fear and intuition.
Yes. They feel so much alike. So I was dating two guys at the same time. And one was the perfect gentleman. The other one, let's call him the flame. He was that thing, right? And so I remember I was out with one of them one day, and then next week I went out with the other. The one that was the one that kept me in anxiety and all of that. I felt comfortable holding his hand. The one that was the good guy, I felt like I was gonna vomit when he held my hand. And I had to go through this process, and I'm like, okay, wait a minute. He didn't do anything wrong. Why do I feel like this? Okay, and so I'm a person that I always go inward. I will self-actualize.
Hey guys, like the video.
And I do a lot of internal work to try to figure me out. And I realized, okay, April,
Oh, I'm finna have to leave.
what you were feeling with this guy was not fear at all. This guy was the one that you should have chosen. But your nervous system and what I call Jessica in my book Identity Switch, Jessica is the subconscious mind. Jessica wasn't used to this type of treatment. Jessica was used to this type of treatment. So his actions were in alignment with what my subconscious was wired with. This guy, I literally, Lisa, I stopped dating after that. And I literally had to rewire my subconscious mind so she would be programmed for good treatment. He was treating me good, but I got fearful of that. This one was treating me in alignment with what I was accustomed to. And I'm like, oh yeah, I like you.
Can you explain what those things were? The things that were actually feeling good, but were actually red flags.
Well, I like men that know how to communicate. He was not the best communicator. He was a man that was emotionally unavailable. Oh, he was so emotionally unavailable, but he was sexy. So it was you kind of give a pass for certain things.
That's part of the track.
That's part of the track. He was sexy. He was like 50, and his body looked like a god, and he was just everything. And so I got caught up in that
Hmm.
because once again, that's the type of thing that I was used to,
Hey, Michael.
and he fit the description. But I'm not paying attention at the time
Is
to
that
what
a goat?
he's doing is still in alignment with the men of your past that you accepted. But beautiful thing that happened. I grew to that, and we saw each other maybe a year later. And said, "Hey, I would like to cook dinner for you." And you still have that little residue.
The red flag man.
The red flag man. And so this is how I knew I had grown, because it was like a year after, and I said, "Well, you know what? I'll let you cook dinner for me because, of course, he's still the sexy guy, and I wanted to see maybe have he grown." What I learned, and it was so liberating to me in that moment. So he took me on a tour of his home. Again, he said, "Hey, but look at what I did to my home." His last name was okay. He said, "It looks nice." But what he didn't know that I remembered was that he had went through a traumatic experience in 2008. He had lost billions of dollars with his portfolio, with this real estate stuff development he was doing. And when that happened, the room, even when we first met, the room still had the old fax machine, everything the way it would look in 2008. Every other room he took me to, it was all filled with things. And I'm thinking, he's not planning his life to bring someone into it. He's planning his life to be by himself. He's not knowing that I'm paying it because I had grown in that year. And so he's not realizing I'm assessing everything. So we're on the deck and we're eating. And I said, "Well," I said, "you're going to be a bachelor for a long time." I said, "You're a sexy bachelor. You know that." He said, "What do you mean?" And I said, "You don't have room for a woman to love you." He said, "What do you mean by that?" I said, "Well, let's start off with your home. There's no room for a woman here." And I said, "That room in the back, it's still set up like 2008 when you lost everything. You have not energetically removed any of that stuff. So there's no room for a woman to be here, to love you." And he said, "Well, April, I can put stuff in the closet, or I can take some stuff." I said, "I'm not asking you to do that. I just identified that you don't have room for a woman to love you." And I said, "When was the last time you ever were in love?" He said, 1994.
Oh, wow.
And that was the last time I saw him.
Coming up.
I believe that a man cannot get over on a woman who takes her time to cultivate herself.
We'll get back to the show in a second, but first, trying to eat healthy when you're freaking busy on the go feels damn near impossible. You're juggling your work, your family, your goals, your emotions, all the things. And then suddenly, it's 3 p.m. and you're starving. And let's be honest, then the vending machine starts to really look like a good option. I get it. That's why I'm absolutely obsessed with Paleo Valley beef sticks. These are my secret weapon. It's 100% grass-fed, naturally fermented, and packed with protein that actually keeps you full without the sugar, the junk, or the sticky ingredients. They're the snack I trust when I'm just too busy to think, but still actually want to fuel my body. I've got them stashed in every single bag, in every drawer, every single place in my house, so that I am never without. So when life hits, I'm not scrambling, I'm snacking smart. And here's the best part, guys. You can get 30 of these bad boys for just $36. So click the link below and grab yours today. Trust me, your body and your schedule will thank you. Now, back to the episode. Okay, now in hindsight, let's talk about the green flag man that
Yes.
made you nauseous.
Yes.
What are the green flags that you saw? You're like, oh god, no. But now you think that you would welcome. And why did you reject them
Well,
actually?
here's the thing. I always liked his green flag. It was my inner that was not accustomed to it. Like, for instance, one day, I was going to the doctor, and I was driving, and I heard this little bumpy thing in the car, and I'm like, okay, did I get a flat tire? And he just happened to call. And he says, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm going to the doctor, but I heard this bumpy thing in the car," and he knows I don't know anything about cars. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah. Is it your tire? I said, "I don't know. It's just bumping. It's bloopy, bloopy. That thing is going on." And he said, "Where are you?" I said, "I'm headed to my doctor." He said, "Send me your location." So I pinned him, sent him my location. When I got out of the doctor's office, he was there. He said, "You do have a nail in your tire, but it's enough to get to the tire repair shop." He said, "Follow me." followed him. He got the tire repaired, gave me a kiss, and said, I'm headed back to work. I'll talk to you later. We can do dinner later. Another thing, which was a green flag, which I was very nervous to tell him about. In 2019, I was diagnosed with lupus. And I felt some sort of way about that. Well, when he and I met, I was trying to do everything to send him on his way. And we were out to dinner, and he said, why you seem sad today? And I said, well, I got some news that I'm not really happy about. He said, what is that? I said, well, it's not your issue, you know. I don't want to put any burdens. He said, what is it? I said, well, I was diagnosed with lupus. He said, okay, I'm not going anywhere. He said, we're going to figure it out. Like, everything was like in alignment with what women would say that they want, but because I hadn't done some deeper work. And when the other guy came, I believe that was the last little remnant of the work that I needed to do because he was a trigger for me. And I was telling my friend just yesterday, we were talking about it, and I said, girl, you know what it was? He reminded me of my ex-fiance. He was the image of that. From how he spoke, to his hand, to his sense of humor, everything, including his emotional unavailability. So I'll never forget, we were sitting there on that couch the night that I was there, and he pointed at me, he said something. I completely turned into this little girl, and I went back to the past. And I'm thinking, wait a minute, you're effing April Mason, what are you doing? How are you sitting here feeling like this little itty bitty girl, like you are backed into a corner, like you're a little puppy? What is going on? That's how I knew something was off. I should not feel this way with a man that is supposed to like me or I'm supposed to like him. My system shouldn't be off like that. That's when I started really diving in to figure that out. The other guy, my nervous system was calm. Nothing. But it was the fear of that because it was unknown. That was familiar. And when I tell you, I've never felt like that before, but in that moment, I said, love is not supposed to feel like this. I'm not supposed to feel like the little girl who's gone through the abuse because I dealt with 12 years of sexual abuse and I've dealt with 2 rapes. All of a sudden, my body feels like this again. And this man, he absolutely hadn't done anything. But the way he looked, how he stood, his stature, everything was reminiscent of the past. And I just kind of cowardly kind of caved in. And to the world, I'm like, oh no, I'm April Mason. But in that moment, it was like I was a wet puppy left out in the cold and I'm in the corner shivering in that moment.
Dude, thank you for your transparency. The amount of women, strong women, that have done that and felt that is crazy. And so I keep going back to what, right? If we have to put it into one area, it reverts you back to your childhood. The woman didn't feel like she had the power. So one thing I want to ask you right now is, when you find yourself being re-triggered or triggered, you actually have 3 steps of how to deal with your trigger. And so I've heard you talk about the 3 steps. So number 1 is you have to assess the situation. Number 2, you accept what it is. And then number 3, you decide how you're going to move forward.
Yes.
Okay, I'll be